trainers of all types, drafters of all disciplines. Hello, I'm Caustic11, and this is the MagneZONE. With me, as always, Adam.
Hi.
And Sam.
Yep, I'm here.
And emergency services. I don't know. I think you can kind of hear them in the background.
Oh shoot, it's the cops.
And this is gonna be a short recording because they finally found Costa.
I'm about to dip. Yeah.
No, Clutch isn't here right now. He's not here. He's got stuff going on, but that's okay because there's not much to talk about once again.
We got a short week.
It's a short week.
Welcome to MagneZONE episode something.5.
And so we're gonna I'm gonna go over the topics that we're gonna cover real quick, just to kind of let everyone know what's getting covered. RDL Playoffs, the round 1 predictions. We're gonna be talking about those because none of them have happened yet this week, which is good because then we can give predictions without actually already knowing what's happened in a couple of those matches. So that's good. End of year awards for the RDL have also been posted, so we're going to be talking about those. We're going to be talking about the Alola International matches, all 4 of them. And I'm going to level with you. It's starting to look like the Alola International coverage might have to end soon. Not because of us.
End sooner than expected.
Yeah, it might end sooner than expected, and there's nothing we can do about that. Anyway, we are also going to be covering with the from the ashes, we'll call it, of Alola International, but not really because there's not very many AI coaches.
Wait. Yeah, I wouldn't call it that.
No, I would call it. We're going to be covering a new league called the Top Flight Premier League, or TPL, and that one's run by our boy Adam.
Yo.
And it's basically a greatest hits compilation of RDL seasons 1 and 2, along with some fresh faces. We'll talk about that after we finish our AI coverage. And then we have our Mon of the Week, which I will reveal when we get to it. Or you can just look in the description where I usually post that. So take your pick. If you want to be surprised, don't look in the description. Otherwise, go nuts. All right, so RDL playoff predictions. And what a playoffs is it? It's going to be a sweet playoffs. So the Sun Conference is finally hashed out who's going where.
Because of a forfeit win.
Yeah.
So because of that, we have our number 1 seed, Ohio Ninetales, versus our number 4 seed, Oregon Golducks. Number 2 seed, LA Chargebugs, versus the number 3 seed, San Antonio Sceptiles. And we already knew what the Moon Conference was like, but just in case you forgot from last week, it's the number 1 seed Akron Alakazams versus the number 4 seed Seattle Supersonics, and that's happening tomorrow, correct?
Probably.
All right. Well, it'll be happening. Well, technically, it'll be happening the day this is posted, but for us, it will be tomorrow, probably, or it could be tonight. I don't know. You guys are going to be the ones deciding that.
We expedited our recording of the podcast so that Adam and I could play and not talk about the game we just had.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a little bit awkward. I think it's going to be really intense. I think.
Yeah.
I think it'll last exactly 27 turns.
Yeah. I think somewhere around 20. Yeah. No.
Man, and that like.
Yeah. So we have our number 2 Brooklyn Bulbasaur versus the number 3 Galesburg Gliscor. So let's start with Moon Conference. Since two of our coaches are battling, technically 3 because Clutch is co-coaching with Sam. This is gonna be a brutal battle. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Apologies in advance. I misled people last week. In that I said I would write a fire diss track for this week. I would, end Adam's career with that, but that's not happening. Instead, I'm going to end Adam's career by, the more conventional way.
Beating him so bad that he just retires completely. Is that what you're suggesting?
See, the thing is that go ahead.
If I lose, I'm just going to focus on TPL. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling as well. Like, it's been a good season, and, like, I think I've said this before on the podcast, off the podcast. Like, I think it'd be fun to see Adam's team make a finals run. I'm going to try and win, but, like, There's some fun teams in this conference. Like Santoro, I think deserves a run at the finals. He's gonna win one of these days.
One of these days.
He's probably gonna make finals anyway. He's gonna wipe the floor with us. But that's the other game.
Yeah, that's another game for another time.
Yeah.
Like
No,
3 minutes from now.
Wait, really?
No. I meant like
Oh,
we were
yeah,
going to be talking
yeah.
about it. For
Sorry,
next game.
I was like, they're playing? No, but see I don't know.
So I'm gonna give
the matchup's interesting.
Yep. Well, I'll
If
give
you-
the rosters real quick so that we can kind
People
of
can look at the rosters. If you just look
Well,
at the
yeah.
rosters and just say like, I mean, Cossack, what's your opinion of things? Like, looking over that, what do you think are like big mons for the two of us? Because both of us have done our prep already.
Yeah, I'm staring
Alright,
at this team.
alright.
It's not changing.
So
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just hear me out here. I'm gonna say
Okay.
Caesar is gonna make an appearance
Hmm.
to some degree. Because you have to understand, both of these teams have Caesar of some description. Seattle has the version of Caesar, Mega Caesar, and of course, then we have regular Caesar on Akron. I think MagneZONE could be a big player here.
Because it has been all season.
Adam's
Because
it's always a problem.
He usually, MagneZONE's just a good mon, and it's it's a decent matchup here. It's gonna be interesting what type of MagneZONE we see here. I think I'm also predicting Rotom Heat because it's Adam, and Adam likes
Well,
Rotom
too bad
Heat.
talk my toaster oven boy.
I'm not bad talking your toaster oven boy. You've been doing good work with that toaster oven boy. He's been pulling
I
his weight.
love this toaster oven.
Toaster oven's great.
I think at least continuing on the Akron side, I think Zoroark is potential appearance, if only for deception capabilities. He can bluff Caesar if he needs to. If he has it on his team, he can bluff Mamo if he needs to like get unfavorable switch-ins. It also is a
Marino last time.
yeah.
Again, wanted to bullet punch.
It wouldn't have killed anyways.
I know, but I wanted to at least call your shit.
True.
Looking at this further, another mon I could see. Mega Altaria probably. I think is going to make an appearance on Akron's side, mainly because it usually does. It's
a good mon.
It's a good mon, and Adam knows how to use it really, really well. He's very comfortable with it. So, I mean, that's why he dropped Mega Lottie for it.
And everyone called me insane.
And it paid off for him. I didn't call you insane. I was mad because I literally, like, you did this trade literally the week before I had to face the team that picked it up. So,
that's
so I ended up having to face both Mega Lotties back to back because of you.
Cossack, you should have just scrapped your team and picked up Mega Lottie.
I mean, you had an hour gap before Mike picked it up.
That was your out. I spent that hour gap trying to persuade Emerson to pick that thing up, but that's history now. But yeah, I think it's an interesting matchup for for us.
The thing is, it's hard to
Yeah.
predict for me what's going to come, what isn't, other than like a few safer
What do you
bets.
think's coming from Sam from Sam now?
Well, Staraptor would be a decent pick. It gets Brave Bird everything. Am I right? I mean, it hits a lot of this stuff reasonably hard, although MagneZONE is a problem for it. That's part of why I think MagneZONE's coming, because it does good against Staraptor. It is, it's reasonably good against Celebi. It's, it can handle Gudra pretty well.
Yeah, Gudra doesn't want to take a.
And it can also handle, notably, it can also handle Hippowdon.
That's true. Yeah.
So MagneZONE's a really good bring here, in my opinion.
So do you think like Gudra and Hippowdon are likely brings then?
I think Gudra might be a likely bring to it. It depends on. It depends on whether Sam thinks Adam's going to be bringing Mega Altaria as a special attacker or a physical attacker, because it can go both. It can run that Dragon Dance subset. if
We
he
brought that one or two times.
yeah. If he predicts the special set, I think Goodra is a definite bring. It's one of the best. Like Goodra just eats Draco Meteors for breakfast, especially assault vested Goodra. So Grand Bull I think might be a bring to counter Mega Altaria potentially. I'm definitely seeing Vikavolt for Jellicent, considering what happened the last time. The thing to note, Vikavolt's got pretty good coverage to deal with a lot of stuff here. It gets electric type coverage, obviously, because it's electric type, so it deals with Primarina. Bug deals with Mudsdale, sort of.
Hits it neutrally.
It hits it neutrally. Also, it's immune to ground types because of Levitate, and electric types that are immune to ground types are really nice to use in general. And Bug, yeah.
Go ahead.
And
the thing is, I'll throw this out there. Like, I mean, the reason that like Rotom Wash and Vikavolt and really all the appliance Rotoms are nice is because if you get rid of the one weakness that electric types have, you just reap the benefits of the resistances.
Yeah, and it's really nasty to deal with. By that same token, though, it might, the Vikavolt's kind of a teetering mon. Like, it could come, could not. It really depends on what Sam and Clutch think Adam's bringing. Rotom Heat, I honestly, Vikavolt might not come because of Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat's like one of the best counters on Adam's team for Vikavolt because electric fire type.
Yeah, resists both the stabs. It's and then like
and cracks back hard.
And it's common for like Vika to like pack other coverage and stuff that doesn't do much to Rotom just in general. I think it's hard to hit. Well, also Rotom is just like its weaknesses. Rotom H specifically, its weaknesses are kind of hard to target for like special attackers occasionally because it's like rock. I mean water obviously. Like, yeah. So.
I could see Mega Caesar making an appearance. It's a good resist for Mega Altaria, which is really useful. And there's only really one mon that you absolutely have to worry about in terms of the main weakness, which is fire, and that's Rotom Heat. So I'm thinking Starmie's gonna probably come to take Rotom Heat off the table.
Yeah, but like. Rotom, I mean, I would agree that Rotom Heat's kind of a problem in the matchup in the sense that, like, because the advantage that these Rotom forms have in general, and the reason that we could do a whole general topic on these things is because there's a lot of things that try and come in on, like, bulky waters can't come in on the fire type Rotom because they don't want to catch a Volt Switch. And then, conversely with Rotom Wash, the ground types that love to come in on electric stab really fear eating a pump.
Well, and Hippowdon might be coming as a Rotom Heat check, or not check, but check. Yeah.
Rotom's supportive moveset's really good too.
I agree.
Forms.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Hippowdon might also be coming in a kind of a stealth rocks capacity because rocks are going to be good to get rid of that Rotom Heat. It's MagneZONE doesn't like rocks. Zoroark's pretty frail. It doesn't have a lot of HP, so it doesn't like rocks either.
Zoroark like in general, hazards are good against something that's like frail and fast because those things like to run Sash.
And also because it'll help kind of give away the ghost as to whether or not Zoroark is like if he's bluffing another mon. Because
the nice thing is that Adam has a bunch of mons that are I'll say this is a nice thing for Adam's team is that. He's got a bunch of stuff that hits neutral for rocks. Caesar, Primarina, Jellicent, MagneZONE. And so, like, you're not going to get any information on whether or not any of those things are actually what they pretend to be, so long as neither of them have switched in, When you play against Zoroark, it's important to take notes on what has already taken hits on the other team.
Yeah. So... Another Mon that I think could possibly be a major player on the Seattle side is Infernape. And I was kind of saving this one for last because Infernape deals with Scizor, deals with Mamoswine, depending on the set you're bringing and the set that Mamoswine's bringing. Infernape has really deep coverage, so it can also, if you bait right, and it depending on like chip and all that stuff, it could theoretically, if it needs to, take on Primarina. It's not advised to take on Primarina, but you can do it. It takes out Zoroark. It can, like, if it's running Grass Knot, it can deal with Mudsdale. It can deal with a lot of the Mons. Just in general, it can deal with a lot of the stuff on Acheron's team. And in particular, it deals with a lot of the major threats on Acheron's team. It also provides another fire resist, which will be useful in dealing with Rotom Heat. Like, if you can just get a little, you can use it to get a little chip off on that thing, depending on what you're doing. So that's kind of my predictions. Take them or leave them as you will.
I was gonna say we can spend a little bit. We can afford to spend a little bit more time on that one.
I probably like. And this is just like for everyone. This is like first glance. Like I didn't go over and kind of write up anything on this beforehand because I was until I didn't realize you guys were planning on playing tomorrow, and I was planning on doing all that today. But
hence why I stepped in.
But anyways, it's good. So here we are. I think it could go either way. I think this is a pretty even matchup.
I think it's going to come down to prep.
It is going to come down to prep. I agree. I think the team that preps better is going to win here.
And which one of the teams here is right, or at least closest to the prep of the other that they can catch them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like Adam and I have been playing. Or sorry, not Adam and I. Clutch and I have been playing just practice matches where we've grabbed the GBA D League document, and we basically just randomly select a team and prep with that team against each other. We don't use the same teams. We just pick two basically, and then that's an interesting exercise for me because I feel like in my limited prep when I'm just typing stuff out real quick and thinking, oh, this is real good against him. Oh, I need to counter this. Oh, I need to check this. Stuff like that. Pretty much the first match I had against him, I prepped right past him. The stuff that he brought was none of the stuff I was really all that afraid of, and it caught me off guard and almost beat me.
I've had that happen a few times.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's important to you have to go up and down with your prep. You have to be ready in some capacity for all 11.
Yeah.
And that was the problem last time I played Adam, was that I think I was about ready for 10 Mons.
Yeah, the one you weren't ready for was King Jelly. So
behind screens.
So yeah, behind screens. It's a bad day to not bring Toxic on something.
All right, and the next battle is
that's Santoro versus Insanity in this win conference.
Insanity is the new coach for Galesburg. And
correct.
I'm gonna level with you. I think Santoro has the edge here, but it's because and I'll admit it's partially because it's Santoro.
Also let's talk about that.
Oh no, we're gonna be talking about the teams. So I think I'll just lead off since I'm already kind of talking right now. I think Mega Venusaur is gonna be a player here. I think it's gonna be involved in some description. Mainly because Galesburg doesn't have a lot that deals the best. They've got Mega Gallade and they have Gardevoir, and that's about the best they've got for Mega Venusaur. Gliscor could maybe do it. The thing with Gliscor though is you have to build it specifically to deal with Mega Venusaur, and if you do that, you're gonna lose utility against some of the other stuff here.
But Gliscor is. I think Gliscor is still nice.
Oh yeah,
it's a problem for some things. It runs into issues when it's great for Cobalion, great for Arc, somewhat depending on what Arc said the guy brings.
It can deal. It depending on what set it's bringing, it can also deal with Reuniclus if it needs to.
Decent for Dragonite. How does does Gliscor deal with Reuniclus?
Yeah, it gets knockoff.
I mean, you can knock it off, but if it's what else do you do to it? You know what I mean?
You can get Swords Dance. I mean, you can Swords Dance knock off it. I mean, it's. I'm not saying it's a great check. I'm just saying it can theoretically if it needs to. You can also,
I, just,
you can
I think
also
most
toxic
Reuniclus sets
stall it.
probably, but like it has Magic Guard.
Oh, that's right, derp.
It's that's the thing is I think that like a lot of Reuniclus sets can be built to a 1v1 Gliscor, and that's
Yeah.
the thing is that like it's interesting
That's
to me
true.
because like the right Reuniclus set here could be really good.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of an interesting matchup with like we talk about Galesburg like when it got reworked when Insanity came in. Man's got 5 psychic types, right?
Yeah.
4?
4.
Necrozma, Delphox, Mega Gallade, Gardevoir. Yeah, 4.
But he has 5.
That's why I don't see Mega Venusaur coming. Because he has 4 psychic types.
Oh, that's
plus
okay. You're right.
tornadoes,
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. Mega Venusaur probably isn't coming.
The right Dragonite set bops his entire team though.
Yeah,
He has
Dragonite.
no switching to a banded Dragonite.
I think Reuniclus might come because you pack like what sub Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Reuniclus. You get you get your shot. You get him because that is going to put immediate pressure on Galesburg because they have to get rid of Reuniclus.
The good news is they have Sneasel in the back, which is
they do have Sneasel in the back. That's going to be helpful. But like Suicune, Arcanine, Cobalion, Silvally Steel, if he decides to bring that.
I mean, that doesn't resist dark, but yeah, it's true. It's still bulky.
Yeah.
You can't knock off memories, so
yeah.
And that's, yeah. And
Silvally Steel like, can also do, like parting shot momentum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fiddle around.
But to me, it's like, let's see, what was I gonna say here? The nice thing that Santoro has is just a wealth of things to switch into knockoffs.
Yeah. Definitely.
Really, that's what it comes down to. Like Cobalion comes in and gets a +1 boost off a knockoff. Like bring the right Cobalion set, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So
because, I mean, it's also a fairly fast thing. Let me just see what on Galesburg's side outspeeds Cobalion. Mega Gallade does.
Yeah, Mega Gallade does.
Sneasel, Tornadus.
Mega Gallade. Like
and Mega Gallade.
That's it. So I mean, giving Cobalion a +1 boost could just be game, depending on where the things are at.
Yeah, definitely.
I have wild thoughts here.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Nasty Bat.
Okay. Let's see, because
Air Slash plus Sludge Bomb plus HP Ice deals with 10 out of his 11 mons. The only thing not being it is Empoleon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amp is gonna have some pressure on it though. That's another key thing I see for Insanity. Because like that's a tool against Dragonite. That's a tool.
But then,
against...
do you even bring it when your opponent has Xurkitree, Piloswine, Cobalion, Arcanine can push its way past it?
Like, yeah, I mean that's the situation that Insanity's in, right? In my opinion, he needs Amp to check some things, but like even if it comes, it's gonna have a lot of pressure on it because like it needs to be able to come in on Dragonite. It needs to be like it comes in on Bat, all right, but like.
But even then, it's not taking a banded EQ.
The problem, the other problem is because Emp, he's gonna have to choose which bulk he's gonna be putting on his Emp to check things with, because he can't use Emp to check both Dragonite and Reuniclus, especially if Reuniclus brings like.
I think we're talking about him checking Bat.
Bat too, but and if he's bringing special Bat, that's even worse because like physical Dragonite, special Bat, he can't tech for both.
That's true, but like I think that like a physically defensive Empoleon with Shukaberry would be like my best guess at something that's definitely coming here.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty likely bring. There's a lot of ground type coverage on Brooklyn's team, and there's just a lot of ground type in general on Brooklyn's team that Empoleon doesn't like, and I think it'll be physically defensive because I think he's more worried about the Dragonite than he is about the Crobat, to be honest.
He may also feel like he needs Walk-On for Xurkitree too, because his team does not want to take on Thunderbolt plus HP Ice.
No. Another thing that Brooklyn might bring, depending on Ditto might make an appearance if he's thinking there's going to be some setup going on the other side.
Oh, if he caught a setup Komodo or Mega Gallade and
Right.
reverse swept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I could see that happening.
That's the thing, is that Ditto denies win cons, right?
Yeah.
Like, because win cons for Insanity would be getting like Necrozma a boost, getting Como a boost, getting Mega Gallade a boost. And if Ditto comes, it just sits there in the back and just waits for you to try and go for game.
Yeah, exactly. Its
Swords
very
Dance
presence
Sneasel.
its very presence makes it difficult for Galesburg to set up any win cons.
Sure.
Swords Dance Sneasel can actually put in a lot of work.
Mhm.
Like Swords Dance, Ice Shard, Knockoff, Brick Break.
Yeah.
Does it muscle pass Mega Bean though? Which, but like I guess that's not like a.
Probably
to be fair-
not. He'd probably need good chip.
But to be fair, this is a hard team to bring Mega
Yeah,
Bean.
well,
like you said
'cause, like,
earlier,
yeah.
Adam.
Because he's got like a goodly portion of this team deals with Mega Venusaur.
Reuniclus kind of uses it for set. Or wait, no, Reuniclus is on Sandhorse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like Necrozma kind of uses it for setup.
Right. I think. Let's see. I think, honestly, like I do think there might be some ghost type coverage in here somewhere because it's so good against this team. Because it deals with all those psychic types and it deals with Delmise.
I guess Delmise exists. What does Santoro run ghost type coverage on?
Reuniclus. Depending on the set that he's running, he could run it on Reuniclus. I'm not saying he does. It's a possibility.
I mean, it depends on what the psychic resists are on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Because like Galesburg, I mean, Galesburg, to be fair, it does hit psychic types that Galesburg brings to the table hard.
Yeah.
Like Necrozma. Like, yeah, that's actually plausible, I'd say.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's probably the only thing. He could but the thing is, if he's not running if he does bring Silvally, well, actually, let me ask this question: if he brings Silvally, does he maybe bring Silvally Dark?
Maybe.
Because I could see it.
No, because then Mega Gallade just drain punches it.
Well, what about Silvally Ghost?
So Valley Ghost, I could definitely see because you can't knock off the memory.
Yep. You can't knock off.
And Ghost is really good against his team with multi-attack.
Yeah.
A lot of his psychics are more specially defensive than physically defensive.
Right.
Like with Gallade and Gardevoir.
Yeah. And it
True.
it also it can hit a lot of this team. It also resists fighting stab it's immune to fighting stab from Como and Mega Gallade. So it can switch on predicted fighting moves from those. I think it's a really good bring here.
All right.
And the only mon it really has to look out for in that case is Sneasel.
Yeah, Sneasel could pursuit trap it, but like Sneasel is Sneasel.
Well, Sneasel's gonna have Sneasel is gonna have pressure on it to try. Like he's gonna. Because I think it's going to, if he brings Sneasel, he's going to run into a situation where he's got a couple targets for Sneasel, and he's going to have to decide which target he hits. Because once he hits one, he's not going to get the other one, probably.
I mean, Sneasel can come in and switch out.
Yeah, it can come in and switch out, but I'm seeing a situation where Brooklyn maneuvers Galesburg to having only, Sneasel and, something else left, and Sneasel's basically the only viable option, and Sneasel just gets pressured into the ground. But
Sneasel can also be used, because it's fast enough. You can see that reality, but I think that there's another case where Sneasel is used to corral
that could
the right
be too.
threats.
And
so
honestly,
it really goes either way.
It could.
It depends.
I think Sneasel, and it will depend on the brings from Brooklyn. I think if Arcanine comes, Sneasel's going to have a lot harder time staying in.
For sure.
But frankly, honestly, if both Suicune and Arcanine come, I don't know if that happens, but if it does, that's going to be a problem for Sneasel. It could be a problem for Gliscor as well. Gliscor doesn't deal with Suicune very well.
Or at all.
But, Galesburg has a chance here. It's going to depend on how well
Everyone has a chance.
Everyone has a chance.
But
I think that I think Brooklyn's got the edge here, just by virtue of the fact that Silvally Ghost runs through a lot of this team. You know, he's got a lot more checks for what Galesburg's got than vice versa.
But I think it still is like favors Santoro. The matchup, the team history right now. I mean, Santoro kind of, you know, soundly dismissed this team earlier, like in a division rematches.
Yeah.
So I think it's, it was a 5-0 last time they played.
Yeah.
With Ditto getting 3.
Yep, Ditto came in and had a field day.
Yep. So the next, we go over to the Sun Conference, and this we'll lead off with Ohio versus Oregon. And this will be an interesting match. Ballistic's got a pretty solid team. So does Mike. Mike's got a really good team, though. Like
Mike's team is deeper.
Mike's team is terrifying.
Mike's team has got a serious amount of depth to it. I mean, just look at his top end. He's got Lando T, Ferrothorn, Snorlax, Kyurem, and then you keep in Megalatias like on the top end. You're looking at a pretty fire team already.
You missed Volcanion.
Oh yeah, Volcanion.
His web setter and Galvantula.
Yeah, and Mike's been doing a lot of good solid work with that Galvantula.
And Scrafty.
And notably, Oregon has a lot of grounded mons, so webs are a possibility here.
Actually, his entire team, save 2, are grounded.
Yeah, I think webs might be a potential bring here.
Pelipper's also a decent. Pelipper and Zapdos are both decent removal too.
Look at this. Look at Oregon's team. Tell me what switches into a Volcanion.
Nothing.
Let's see. No.
Yeah.
Pelipper a little, but not really.
HP Electric.
I mean, yeah, but that's you got to call that switch. I mean, if that's the only thing coming in, yeah.
Mike will call that switch. Even then, like a steam eruption would hurt a lot, especially if it's in rain.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, what about Slowking? Does all right.
Slowking does all right.
Like HP Electric is not going to do that much.
Well,
like,
the thing is, I'm pretty sure Volcanion. Yeah.
You run Z Solar Beam and blow that thing back.
Well, also, I'm pretty sure. Let me check here. I want to double check. I'm looking at the move list now, but don't quote me on this, but I think it gets. Oh, I was wrong. All right. I was gonna say I thought it got Dark Pulse, but it doesn't. So
if it did,
yeah. You know what I think is kind of a sleeper bring for Oregon. Mega Houndoom's matchup is not terrible.
No, Mega Houndoom's got a good matchup here, a decent one anyway.
It outspeeds everything and has good dual stab.
Yeah, it's got good dual stab.
Takes on Megalatias, which is something that he kind of needs to deal with.
Takes on Ferrothorn, which has been proving to be a problem for everything.
Literally a thorn in people's sides, yes.
Yes.
Wow.
And notably, Iron Barbs doesn't hit it because it's a special attacker, so he doesn't have to worry about Iron Barb's chip taking it out.
Absolutely blows back Galvantula. Scrafty doesn't really want to take it unless he's super specially invested, which he may.
Lurantis doesn't want to be in on it.
Nah. Yo, AV Scrafty would take this thing on.
I feel like he'll go more Fizz-Def Scrafty for that Zygarde. Because he doesn't have much to take it on, and Scrafty can get Ice Punch and just straight blow that thing back.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the situation with Ohio versus Zygarde is interesting. Because Zygarde is
he can run Intimidate and AV. He can wall both with Scrafty.
Well,
why not?
Strain Punch.
What? Hear me out on this. This is an outside thing, but what if Mike runs Scarf Kyurem to deal with Zygarde 50? Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Like, for a second, I had the thought that Zygarde. The problem with that is that the best he can do is speed tie. That's fair.
Unless Ballistic Tech.
Zygarde's not going to be choice scarfed. It doesn't hit hard enough when it's.
But like, if it gets a +1 boost, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
so
but the fact that it can speed tie even after a +1 boost is something to consider.
The nice thing about having Kyurem, I would say, is that Scarf Kyurem is a very real thing. Like, Scarf Kyurem is a good set.
Yeah.
It is. And the thing is that it forces Zygarde, if it comes as a Dragon Dance set, it keeps it honest, right? Like, you have to run max speed Jolly. You can't run out. if you're
Right.
afraid
Looking
of
at this
that.
matchup, Specs Kira might be better to just absolutely punch through his team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Nothing
it could deal with Tangrowth.
like Ice Beam, Draco, HP Fire.
And then
I don't even know what fourth move he needs.
I mean,
I could see
Slow
it.
King, let's see here. Slow King still like is
Yeah.
bulky enough that it
Draco's
comes
a
in,
lot.
but like the Draco still hurts.
Yeah, the Draco still hurts a lot.
I mean, yeah, Kyurem with Kyurem firing off Dracos, I think it's like tied for the second most powerful Draco in the format.
Yeah.
Like unboosted, like out of the gate.
Yeah. And out of the,
'cause, yeah.
it's got, well, that's the thing.
Actually-
Kyurem, a lot of people don't realize just the sheer amount of out of the box stopping power this boy packs.
It's base 130, like it's good.
Yeah.
It's base 130 in both of its attacking stats. It's like, and then it's got good defenses. Like, yeah, no, Kyurem's good. It's just, its typing is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Riddle me this. So we've been talking about Slow King being a problem for Volcanion and Kyurem. What if he brings Max Attack Skuntank and just Pursuit Traps it?
How much does that do?
35% min, not including a switch. So he's doing at least 70%. And that's
Mhm.
no boost item.
So you throw a band on that and it KOs.
If he's Life Orb, it does 47% minimum.
Whew.
That's, I could
Yeah,
see
so
it. I could see
any
it.
chip in it.
And Mike is certainly,
And if he just
Capable of bringing
Pursuit Traps
something like
that thing
that.
and gets it out of the way, he's free to just start punching holes.
yeah.
Mhm.
It should also be noted Galvantula deals pretty well with Slow King as well.
True. That dual stab, in fact, murders it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it dares him to switch in. Like,
Yeah.
Zygarde doesn't really want to come in on a Bug Buzz either.
I could
No.
see
That
an
does damage.
offensive Zapdos doing some work. Like HP Ice, Heat Wave, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I could see it. That would actually be pretty good against. That'd be good against Volcanion, definitely.
and-
And that's something to consider because Volcanion is a big problem for
Uh-huh.
the Golducks as it stands.
Yeah, like his best answer to it is that Zapdos and a Zygarde hit.
Mhm.
And a quick swap over as well. Something that I don't see coming for Oregon is that Rain Core. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't see.
Yeah,
Rain
you don't want to bring Rain when the other team's packing Volcanion. Like the last thing you want is
Eruption hits hard enough as it is. Don't
Yeah.
push it.
The thing that I saw as well is, I mean, like, he could bring it, but like Pelipper and Kabutops would do nothing to Ferrothorn.
yeah.
Nothing.
And
Yeah, absolutely
Ferrothorn,
nothing.
Ferrothorn is like sweet. All the fire attacks that would normally blow me back might not blow me back quite as hard under this rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferrothorn takes fire hits surprisingly
Plus,
well.
do you want to give Galvantula free 100% accurate thunders?
I mean, they're already
'Cause
what,
then
like
you can run
95%
Thunder and have no
accurate.
berries for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But like, they're already gonna hit most of the time anyway.
But yeah, I mean, but that just straight up handing your opponent that extra 5% is also maybe not the best thing you could be doing.
I think the biggest
And
reason not to
with
bring it is
how
because
good-
it.
Well,
With how
I mean-
Mega Houndoom looks
Yeah,
in this matchup,
yeah,
I don't think you want Rain on top of it.
yeah.
True.
You don't want to. I don't think. Yeah, that's always.
I think you want to set Sunny Day with that chlorophyll Tangrowth.
I.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shoot, no, don't do that. Don't.
I mean, it's possible, but doubtful.
I mean, it gets Swords Dance. Like,
I think this one's gonna be very close, but I think it's gonna. I'm gonna give the slight edge to Michael.
Yeah, I'm giving the edge to Mike here.
yeah, I mean, that's such a stacked team
It's
as
a
well.
it's a stacked dastardly team with a
Yo,
really good coach behind it. Like Ballistic's a really good coach too, but his team just isn't as stacked as Mike's is.
It's not as stacked, and he has a decided weakness of not showing up.
Yeah.
So let's see if this game actually gets
Oof.
played.
Oof. Them harsh takes.
Dude, I'm not afraid to be a little bit mean when people don't show up for matches. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. It's understandable. So let's move on to our final playoff matchup here: San Antonio Sceptiles versus the Los Angeles Chargebugs.
ooh. This is like
Yeah,
this actually could be the best battle out of the four.
It could.
Potentially.
I'm actually. This is. I will
Bro,
say this is the one I'm
You're
potentially
you're
most.
shading both of us.
Well, I hate to tell you this, guys, but I might actually be more excited to
Dude.
watch this battle than your guys' battle.
But like, here's the thing, Adam, is that it's this conversation that I had with Clutch where he was like, every time Adam and I battle, we just beat each other up. Like, it's never like Adam versus Clutch apparently has very rarely been a good.
Oh no, it's
tax-free
always a
match.
landslide one way or the other.
It's always been
Exactly,
a dirty
so-
grime fest, yeah.
So, and we continued that. Like, I feel like I'm still kind of a Clutch team because we continued that with me not bringing anything for Jellicent. So
Yeah.
like. The honest truth is that Adam and I will probably not have a good match if history is anything to go by. And to be honest, you and me have never had good matches either. I hacked the GBs out of you, and then you 5-0'd me twice in RDL. That's our history.
That hack still
So,
hurts.
Mons that I see potentially coming in this matchup, I think Hoopa U might be. Hoopa U I could see being a bring here.
Why?
Well, it deals.
There are no switch-ins to a Hoopa U.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
agree.
Bronzong
Especially not a
doesn't.
physical
Well,
one.
because Bronzong doesn't switch into it. Megaladios doesn't switch into it.
It does.
And I mean, if he packs Signal Beam, he could actually take Karuk on the switch in if he predicts it. Or if he's packing Ghost type, he could deal with. Actually, he doesn't even need to pack Ghost type. He deals with Kofagrigus with it. Like, it does a surprising amount of work here. It also deals with Lucario. Like, it can manhandle a lot of this team.
It deals with Lucario? Like, what is it?
I mean, it's Psychic type. It's
But
it's
Lucario
neutral,
takes
but
neutral hits from those.
yeah, but like
Not
Lucario's
really.
Lucario's not super durable.
No, but like it would take a neutral hit, I think. And I think that if Hoopa comes, I
mean,
there are two Hoopa sets I could see coming. Like Scarf is good here. Comes in, can like fire off a hit into Megaladios. And the nice thing about that is that hits behind subs.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic thing. Like sub CM Latios is just a hard bring.
Yeah.
Also, there's an interesting Trick Room set that exists. That's mean.
He doesn't even need to run Trick Room on Hoopa U. He can run it on Cresselia and set with.
Well, yeah,
Cresselia,
but like,
'cause
why
Cresselia-
not?
Well,
Why not set with your own sweeper though?
that's true too. It's
Because you get
true.
more turns that way, and then you don't have to try and switch Hoopa U into some crazy.
And maybe he does that. I could also see Trick Room on Cresselia though for.
I feel like that's if he wants to go full Trick Room offense, which
that's
is
true.
not necessarily to his
Advantage, yeah.
Yeah. Trick Room on Hoopa works out for him. Trick Room, like for other things, like Trick Room with Heatran, run like meta if you listen. Specs, Eruption, Heatran, and Trick Room.
Pretty
Go and do
nasty.
that.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, if the man can't bring Megalati for fear of Hoopa U, there's not a whole lot on that team that likes switching into a Specs Eruption.
Something else that I've noticed.
Fantasy, I guess.
There's not a lot on San Antonio's side that breaks Cresselia. Kofagrigus might be able to. I don't think it quite has the punch power.
Crook will.
Crook can, but if that's his only switch into Cress.
Nasty Plot Thunderous.
Nasty Plot Thunderous.
I mean,
if Cress isn't like, if it's not T-Wave, Lucario gets Swords Dances on it.
That's true.
And Swords Dance Lucario really hurts everything. Like,
yeah, you're right. That could be.
His whole team falls. Oh no.
Yep. Like if he gets 2 Swords Dances, it's over, right? Like
E-speed, close combat, and a filler move. I don't Ice Punch for Salamence.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
But like Salamence outspeeds, you probably E-speed it anyway. Like you gotta hope you get rocks. If meta doesn't bring Intimidate.
Well,
I wonder.
That brings up an interesting point for this particular battle. Both of these teams really like setting up. A lot of their win cons have set up mons involved in them, and so do you see? I guess less now with LAC. I think their team doesn't necessarily set up as much, but San Antonio, they have Manaphy, they have Lucario. Both of those, if they come, they're looking to set up probably.
Salazzle.
Salazzle, yeah. So
Latios, Thundurus, T.
Yeah.
There's lots of setup.
yeah, very very much so.
Even Rodriguez, like
Yeah.
Trick Room, Nasty Plot.
Mm-hmm. Wait, really? That's a thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. So
Yeah, that thing hits hard as hell.
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Awful, but Ambipomp's kind of got an interesting matchup here.
Yeah, Ambipom definitely has an interesting matchup.
I actually see Ambipom coming because if Slurpuff gets a belly drum up, fake out cycling may be necessary.
Yeah.
Yep. And fake
Plus,
out cycling is just good against this
everything and can run like fake out, ice punch, U-turn, and like return and not lose anything.
Yeah.
That set would put in work.
To be fair,
or maybe knockoff for Cresselia.
I think he runs low kick for Heatran.
Yeah, like it's kind of got 4 move slot syndrome because like low kick would be good. Like
you U-turn on Crest with that thing. I think there's no world in which you do much to Crest. So you want something like you're fine with Crook knocking off Crest because it's going to do more damage.
Yeah.
True.
And also that's an interesting thing with Crest is that I feel like Thunder Wave would be really good for denying like Manaphy and Lucario and stuff like that. But also like
Manaphy clicks Z Rain Dance.
Yeah.
Thunder Wave don't mean shit.
True. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
But then
look at look at Tilga plus Z Rain Dance.
I could see it.
Does Dominator listen to the podcast? I guess we'll find
plus
out.
Ice Beam. No, Surf plus Energy Ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you get walled by Ments, right? Like, I mean, Ments won't like Surf. But like,
a +3 Surf's still gonna do a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It also depends on how he builds his Ments.
Yeah. Well, like meta, I don't think I've seen Intimidate Salamence once. It's typically Moxie.
Yeah.
No,
which, like, to be fair, if Moxie gets on a downhill, it's over. But like to me, like Moxie Ments is just difficult to set up because it's got some exploitable weaknesses.
Right. Well, like we were talking about, like you can pack Ice Punch on Lucario, deals with Ments.
Yeah, and also just Ments at +1. Like every decently constructed team has a switch into +1 Ments, I think.
Yeah, and this team is no different. It's got potential switch-ins to that +1 Ments.
Yeah.
The problem is when Ments hits like +2.
Yeah, that's when you're in problem.
Yeah.
You got a problem with Ments at +2, that's for sure.
It's like Dragon Hits up plus a Moxie boost on like catching with a random Z move.
Yeah.
Then there are issues.
Facts. All right.
It's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of maneuvering to like set up to give win cons a chance to set up. I think in this match, it's gonna be a lot of this one might be a longer match. If only not necessarily because of a lot of walling, but because there's going to be a lot of like jockeying for position in the early game. There's going to be a lot of like switch in to something, then that thing switches out into something else that switches in, and then you just get a lot of switching back and forth because they're both kind of looking for that opening to shoot in with their win con and nail them. I think that's how a lot of that's how a lot of the matches with the Chargebugs went this season, was a lot of jockeying for position until meta saw an opportunity and went for it one way or the other.
If someone gets a double switch at the right time, it could be big.
I think honestly, I think switch prediction is going to be one of the keys to victory here. Whichever team does it better, whichever team predicts the switch is better, is going to probably take this one.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the switch prediction weight is more on Dominator and the San Antonio Sceptiles.
Yes.
I think they need to be more aggressive.
Yeah, well, his team is more frail to an extent.
And also, just I think that and to be fair, Meta definitely has a job to do in terms of trying to get in Hoopa-U for free.
Yeah.
Because if he can do that a whole bunch, and assuming it comes, if he can do that a whole bunch, it'll hurt.
Yeah, because it's going to get really good chip on just about everything.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about how Mega Blastoise is leading Hoopa-U for kills on this team? Kecleon is leading Hoopa-U for kills on this team.
I'm going to put that partially to the point. I'm going to say that's partially because Hoopa-U was a really good U-turn target for like everybody.
But, like, people get more kills with Hoopa-U than 5 but it's only come to 5 matches, is what I would put it
Yeah,
to.
that's the other thing is it didn't come to a lot of matches, and the matches it did come to, it was a priority target and got nailed early usually. So, because I know I think in my rematch with LAC, I nailed that thing with a U-turn pretty quickly, and took that out of the picture. But it's a threat that has to be prepped for sure. So we'll see. And you're right. I think there is a burden of that on Chargebugs. I do think the burden of switching is more on San Antonio, though, predicting the switches. But San Antonio, they've shown the ability to do that in a lot of matches. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So we got a pretty good lineup of playoff matches ahead of us. Can't wait to report on the results of those next week. That'll be cool to do, and to see who's going to be moving on to finals. Honestly though, I think the journey that I want to see the most is I just want to see if Santoro can make it to the finals again and take it this time. He's 2 seasons in a row. He's made it to championships and didn't quite get there. Can he make it a third time and actually take it this time? That's very much what I think I'm most interested in seeing, because he's definitely good enough to do that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's proven that time and again. He's one of the best coaches in the league. He's got the most consistent results. He's got the most consistent postseason results out of just about everybody, because he's made it to the playoffs.
Out of literally everyone.
Yeah, he's made it to the playoffs all 3 seasons. He's made it to the championships twice in a row.
Oh yeah, I would say he's the only coach who made it both times.
Yeah.
And the only coach who has been to the finals twice. That's insane.
So he's definitely got the most consistency on this side. Anyway, moving on to end of year awards for the RDL. These are the awards that were voted on by coaches. To some extent, some of them I don't think were voted on. Some of them were just, these are the stats deal. Like league kill leader, which is what we're going to start with, which was Megalopony. Just barely edging out our runner-up, which was MagneZONE with 16 kills. Megalopony for Galesburg and Philadelphia at different points in the season picked up 19 total. The KD leader is also Megalopony with a 19-4 plus 15 differential. And the runner-up, also MagneZONE with a 16-3 plus 13 differential. The league death leader. All right, the death leader is Blacephalon from Chicago with 11. And this is an award I'm glad that I slightly got edged out of, because Rotom Wash for my team is one of the 3 runner-ups with 10 deaths, which is Tapu Koko for Rochester, Excadrill for Pittsburgh, and then Rotom Wash for Liverpool with 10. And the minus KD leader, so the Mon with the worst differential, was Blacephalon for Chicago with 3 kills, 11 deaths, -8 differential. Jolteon is the runner-up for Pittsburgh with a 1-8 -7 differential. Obviously, there's no league champion yet, but we'll find out soon. The Pick'em champion is, no surprise, Clutch with a 59-21 score.
Good old Clutch sometimes.
And runner-up, Michael, with 10 less correct predictions. And rookie coach of the year, best first season coach. It was between, definitely, I think we mentioned this when we were talking about end of year awards. It was definitely between Dominator and Hive, and it was close.
It was.
Dominator took it with 6 votes. Hive had 5 as the runner-up. So close. And you know what? I agree. I think it should be a close vote. It could have gone either way, honestly. They're both really good. And I'm glad they're both in the league. So
yeah, and they're
hey, no spoilers.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Fine. I'm happy to have them in other spots in my life.
All right, the best 6th Mon is Mega Latias. You know what? Seeing this, I do think we do need to lower that threshold to like, 3 or 4 games.
Here's what I told Clutch last night was that I think that we need to put a stipulation on it that the 6th Mon has to have been on the team or on a single team for like 10 out of the 12 weeks or something.
So it has to be there a long time, right? So you
because
can't
like
just
Mega Pinsir was a contender here, and I don't think Mega Pinsir should have been because it got picked up late in the season and came to a lot of games.
Well, like for the runner-ups,
that's not a 6th man.
The runner-ups, because Mega Latias got 4 votes. The runner-ups were Mega Pinsir, Mineshow, and Dragonite. So these are not what you think of when you think of like 6th Mons, at least in my opinion. I think.
You know it is though, a Breitloom that got no love.
I mean,
your Mamoswine was getting enough love already, my guy.
Breitloom went 9-2. It was there all season.
It's true, but like still.
Only came to 5 games.
Yeah. All right. So to finish out, we have the MVP, most valuable to their team, and we'll go over for each team what those MVPs were. For Akron, no surprise, Mamoswine. Yeah, 12. It was at 12 games. 9 of those were wins, which is a really good win ratio, I might add.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. I only had 2 losses.
9 games.
12 minus 9 is 3.
Yeah, that's weird. Mike, we found a potential issue here. You're absolutely right. So, 6. You know, we mentioned its kill death ratio 16-3.
Sorry, what was the issue?
Well, because Adam only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Right? It has Mamoswine with 12 games brought and 9 game wins.
But if it came to all 12, it should have 10 wins.
I think. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be 10.
For a second, I thought you were saying that. I thought you were talking about the fact that it had died 3 times, and I was like,
no.
It's not possible to win a game when one Mon dies, right? Yeah. But no, yeah, I'm good.
Brooklyn Bulbasaurs. Mega Venusaur is their MVP. 11 games brought, 8 games won. 15-4 with a plus 11 differential. Chicago Tauros. Shaman, 4 games brought, 1 game won. 3-3 plus 0 differential. EC Gastrodons. Mega Pinsir, 5 games brought, 4 games won. 10-3 with a plus 7 differential. Galesburg Gliscor. 7 games brought, 6 games won. 9-3 plus 6 differential. That's a really good games won ratio, by the way. I mean, I think though, I mean the edge still. I don't know. I mean, 7 games brought, 6 games won is pretty good, and having a positive differential on top of that is pretty sweet. Slurpuff for LA Chargebugs. Yeah.
Anyone's surprised.
Yeah.
Don't get swept by cupcakes.
Yeah. Oh, now you tell me.
I think you knew.
I knew, and I tried to stop it, but I didn't do a good enough job. Anyway, 6 games brought, 4 games won, 10-2, plus 8 differential. LA Solgalios, Amoongus, my boy. 5 games brought, 2 games won, 5-3 with a plus 2 differential. Liverpool, BC, Mega Aerodactyl. 4 games brought, 2 games won with a 6-2 plus 4 differential. Ohio Ninetales, Mega Latias. 4 games brought, 2 games won, 10-2 with a plus 8 differential. Doesn't include games for Akron, so he's not including those in the stats for games.
Well, it never came anyways. So.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
You had it for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
My gosh.
Oregon Golducks, Tangrowth, 7 games brought, 5 games won, 10-2 with a plus 8 differential. Philadelphia Braviaries, Megalopony, 4 games brought, 2 games won, 8-2 with a plus 6. Does not include games for GBG, which is Galesburg. Tyranitar, 5 games brought, 0 games won. This is for Pittsburgh with a 4-5 minus 1 differential. Rochester, Tapu Koko, 11 games brought, 5 games won, 15-10 with a plus 5 differential. San Antonio Sceptiles, Crocodile, 9 games brought, 5 games won, 11-6 with a +5 differential. San Jose, Min Xiao, 6 games brought, 5 games won, 10-2 with a +8 differential. Sounding familiar now, isn't it? There's a lot of Mons with like 10-2 differential here. And finally, the Seattle Supersonics, Staraptor, 9 games brought, 5 games won, 11-5 with a +6 differential. The winner with 6 votes is Mamoswine. Runner-up, Venusaur with 5 votes. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's too much to say beyond that.
And the All-Star voting is ongoing for round 2. We don't have any updates on that.
Correct. I posted that today.
Yes. And
yeah,
so...
it's 12 in each conference. The 12 was a cutoff point that made sense in both conferences, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, 2/3 of that team will get... Or, yeah, 2/3 of each roster should end up on the All-Star team. We'll see how that kind of shakes out.
I can tell you right now that I don't think I'm going to have Amon on the All-Star team this season.
Maybe not. It's also entirely possible that I won't. Not gonna lie.
I'm almost certain I won't, because the only one on there, I haven't said, but the only one that made, I only had one make it to round 2 of voting, and
yeah, Rachi does okay.
Yeah, but I don't think it did well enough to make enough of an impression to get the votes it's gonna need. But we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out.
A lot more hacks.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not hacks, because technically 60% is in your favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go as far as to say, like, Scald burns aren't hacks, but yeah.
Let's move on to our Alola International coverage. There were only 4 matches played here in week 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's week 9 this week, not last week when I kept saying it was week 9 before the recording started. It is actually week 9 now. And I'm flipping through the battles page, and it's kind of...
Just go to the week 9 tab.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, because it's kind of depressing otherwise.
It's just easier.
Yeah. All right. So we had LA Chargebugs versus the Crane Link Conkeldurs. That was a 6-0 in LA Chargebug's favor. The brings for this battle, LA Chargebugs brought Victini, Salamence, Mega Beedrill, Porygon 2, Comfey, and Klefki. Crane Lake brought Flygon, Linoon, Mantine, Crocodile, Jirachi, and Mega Pidgeot. And yeah.
Yeah, so LAC just made some pretty safe reads, good plays. Standout play, Linoon clicked Belly Drum on Porygon 2, and Porygon 2 went for a foul play. So, goodbye, Linoon.
Yep.
That's going to hurt. I think that's a solid play. I mean, it was just tough prep for Rich. That team was...
Yeah, that team matchup for Rich was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's a good team that
he and I talked about it real brief. Yeah, it is. It's just it had a rough matchup week 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the thing is, like, I talked to him beforehand, and he was not really sure where to go with the prep at first. But yeah, the difficulty was just breaking Porygon 2 is always an issue, and having something to outspeed Mega B also always an issue. So
yeah,
Scarf Crook could have done wonders in this game.
He might have had it. It's just that it died real soon.
Yeah, it was gone way too early.
Yeah. I don't know what Rich's sets were at the end.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
All right.
Is there anything more to say there? That was a short one.
That was a pretty short one.
Nah, that's pretty much wraps it up.
I mean, I could say what, because I have, like, what moves KO'd what Mons.
Don't bother.
Yeah.
What's worth noting is that at the very end, Mega B set up a Swords Dance to win.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, Mega B already hits really hard. A Swords Dance on Mega B is oof.
Swords Dance on Mega B is typically kind of a bad set, though.
Yeah, usually, because
he
forced it's a great bring though.
But Meta forced enough switches with it that I think it was reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much that didn't stand on Mega B.
Yeah. Moving on to the Colorado Agrons versus the Atlanta Altaria. That was a 2-0 win for the Agrons. Aggron brings Mega Manectric, Slowking, Zygarde 50, Heatran, Audino, and Tangrowth, and there's still an apostrophe for Agrons.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Whatever.
Anyway, it just bugs me. I'm a closet grammar Nazi, okay? Anyway, the Atlanta Altaria brings Skarmory, Venomoth, Megalopony, Mudsdale, Mismagius, and Goodra.
All right. I watched this one. Adam, you watched it too. But like,
I did indeed.
This was a long match. First off, like 41 turns or something.
That was a long match.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is that what it came down to, in my opinion, and Clutch's opinion, Clutch and I talked about this match quite a bit. That Venomoth set that he had really did do a number on Urflap's team if it could get to like +1 or +2. And his air was going for it too soon. He let it take damage. He got it to the point where when it came back in, it was at 25% when it took Stealth Rocks. And also, I think that with Clutch had kind of acknowledged before the game that Urflap didn't have good removal. And I think he could have been more aggressive, getting more layers of spikes up.
Yeah.
Is that like is that your assessment as well, Adam? Like similar? Do you have any other thoughts?
He was just having one rough time breaking through that regen core.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
His team just got whittled down too much for him to be able to pull it out late game.
I love regen cores, and I love seeing regen cores do work.
Audino, Tangrowth, Slowking.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah,
and then add that to the pivoting of Mega Manectric, the bulky offense of Zygarde 50 and Heatran.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Urflap has a good team.
Yeah,
sometimes he's kind of had his ups and downs in the season. I think. Like here's the thing. The worst part of this to me, Clutch ran the calc on the pivotal moment. Actually, was that he had his last mon was Mega Lopunny, and all it had to do was 2-hit KO Tangrowth to win.
And it missed by like 3 points.
Dude, Clutch told me this. He did the calc yesterday. That was a roll in his favor. Do you know what the chance that he 2-hit KOs that Tangrowth is? 85%.
Oh, man.
He missed the 85% chance to 2-hit KO Tangrowth.
That's why.
So and then if it was gone, then there's just a Heatran in the back that's at low health. That thing's not living. And something else. I forget what else had survived at that point.
Audino survived.
Yeah,
Audino.
Audino's also not taking a high jump kick very well.
Audino and Tangrowth were notably the only survivors left on Colorado's team.
Oh, right. Yeah, Heatran was gone. So.
Yeah. It was Audino and Tangrowth.
So the point is, if he 2-hit KOs that Tangrowth, that's game. That's done.
Wow.
And I think that if he had...
That is frustrating.
If he'd kept Venomoth in the back for longer, he'd have a better chance. And also, there's other points where he could have set a third layer of spikes earlier in the match. Yep. And if he had done that, then Tangrowth was 100% 2-hit KO'd.
Yep.
So he felt bad a little bit because, he didn't quite play to his outs as well as he could have. But, also Urflap played him very well. The way that he handled the Tangrowth was fantastic, actually. I thought it was one of Urflap's best played games this season.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, scrolling down here, the other, there was a forfeit this week, which was California Kyogre's forfeit to the Akron Absols. Akron, of course, gets that 3-0 win then. And then we talk about the Virginia Caesars versus the Huddersfield Heracross.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's a 4-0 win for the Heracross. Jolteon, Salazzle, Melodic, Mega Venusaur, Gliscor, and Hoopa Unbound. Those are the brings for Huddersfield. Virginia brought Alola Persian, Galvantula, Gligar, Mega Pinsir, Tapu Fini, and Azelf. That Huddersfield team, though, that's such a brutal core. Melodic
Decent
and
core.
Mega Venusaur and Gliscor.
Going in and thinking, how are you going to break this?
Yeah. That's tough. That's a tough team for Virginia to face with what they brought.
Yeah.
And just
with what they brought, yes.
With what they brought, yes.
Because I think that those two have some common nothing on that team particularly wants to switch into a psychic type with specs or anything.
Nope.
But still,
yeah.
Regardless, what was I gonna say about this? Yeah, this is the Venusaur that doesn't have any fear.
Yeah.
That Venusaur clicked Sludge Bomb like 4 turns in a row when all Ace was doing was predicting the obvious synthesis.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just do that with Venusaur. Venusaur is
I mean, he clearly thought that he had like, I think that he was kind of okay with doing that. Especially once Feeney was gone, I feel like Mega Venusaur had kind of served its purpose, and he had Jolteon in the back for Feeney. Like, he had options on that team. He could afford to just be fearless with his Mega Venusaur.
Because if it goes down, whatever. But if as long as it's alive, it's doing damage and getting chip on things, and that's sometimes just what you want. Sometimes when you've got a Mon, because Mega Venusaur actually hits reasonably hard for something that's as bulky as it is.
Oh, absolutely! It's got a good special attack. And the thing is, when you do that to somebody where you just stay in against what seems like all logic, or keep spamming attacks instead of clicking synthesis. If they're predicting around that, that's a huge morale hit when you're playing and you're trying to make predictions. You're trying to get like momentum back from somebody, and they just stick around, keep clicking attacks, and just don't care.
Yeah, it definitely gives that. It gives it's psychologically like damaging, because you're like, you start to question your own decision making, and it can cause you to make a questionable decision later on in the match, even where you.
I think that what it does to you more than anything is it basically puts you in a situation where you're afraid to make reads.
Right.
You know? Doing that to somebody early in the game kind of sets them in a mode where they're not going to try and get too far ahead of you anymore.
Right. They're not going to try and think ahead. They're just going to try and it puts them into a kind of a reaction mode.
Well, yeah, and that opens you up to make reads on them.
Yeah.
Because if they're playing the predictable game.
Well, it was like my in RDL, it was like my match against Michael earlier in the season, where like I clicked Pursuit against Mega Lottie like 4 or 5 times, and it didn't switch. I was using Alola Muck with Assault Vest versus Mega Lottie, and I'm like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna switch out now, and he didn't at all. And there's a couple other situations in that battle where I was clicking a move over and over, like, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this, and he doesn't do it, and it's demoralizing. Especially and like looking back, I don't remember what the sets were, but maybe I shouldn't have been as like sold on this thing is gonna switch. But yeah, well, there was also a lot of protect high jump kick shenanigans in that same battle where he thinks I'm gonna click high jump kick, I don't click high jump kick, I think he's gonna click protect, he doesn't, and just back and forth that way.
That happens with high jump kick, but that's a different battle. So
yeah, that's a different battle. But in this what I'm getting at is it is psychologically, like, it messes with you,
of course.
And those sorts of situations, and that's kind of, and Mega Venusaur is really good for setting those types of situations because of just the way Mega Venusaur operates.
I mean, I just say that most bulk mons are like that.
Yeah, most bulk mons are like
when
that.
When you feel like you have them expendable, you can
afford to play that game.
Well, just to basically, I mean, because what Oliver was basically doing is sacking you, right? He was probably just clicking that attack until something decided, I want to kill you.
Right. All bulk mons have that capacity, but I think Mega Venusaur has a better capacity because it hits pretty hard for it being a bulk mon. Because like you could do this kind of thing with Amoonguss too, but Amoonguss doesn't hit as hard as Mega Venusaur does.
Yeah, but like, I feel like sometimes the bigger gain is what you get for free switching, and I know that's not what you're saying. I get that, but like, but that's that.
I'm just listing it as an additional benefit thing, I'm just saying, like, it's one of the anyway, whatever.
Go ahead.
I feel like we're arguing two different points I think we're in full agreement, and yet we're arguing different points that are like not aligned with each other at all.
I think you're just saying that the benefit of Mega Venusaur is that it does more damage because it has a higher spat stack, which is like That's true, right? It's just also
that is what I'm saying. I was trying to elaborate more past that, but whatever.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah. So that's but bleh, bleh. Look,
Yeah,
I'm just
I
trying to
get it.
pad the runtime, okay? We don't have a lot to talk about.
We've done a real good job of that today, though. Holy cow.
Yes.
Anyways,
So, so next battle is Seattle Supersonics versus the Brisbane Scythers. It was a 2-0 win for the Scythers. Their brings Tornadus Eye, Toxapex, Blacephalon, Ferrothorn, Mega Metacham, and Zygarde 10%. And the opposing Seattle Supersonics brings were Uxie, Mega Mawile, Houndoom, Serena, Scolipede, and Haunter.
yeah. Oof.
Tell us about this, Sam.
Well, Clutch and I both got 2-0'd in the same week, and we both had outs. So it was a good game, though. For the record, this is a lot of fun. I'd say that what happened is I played this match like about probably like 10 minutes after I finished building for the team, because D Willie was ready to go early, and I just kind of said, why not? Let's just play. And the biggest mistake I made was, to be honest, not writing down what he brought as soon as we were at team preview, because like I'm typically very much like I take notes sometimes, but I like to play without them and just kind of go by the feel of things.
Oh.
And like that's fine. It burns you every now and then. And the thing that happened was that like in this case, I'm sitting here trying to pick something to switch into a Tornadus Eye that's sitting in front of me that I think is probably, it's like about to hurricane or about to fly an EMZ. It's about to do something. And I thought to myself, I was like, this man, I don't think he brought Blacephalon. I don't remember seeing Blacephalon. So I can sack my Houndoom, which is there expressly to take care of Blacephalon.
Oh, no.
And so I did. I sacked it. And then realized that Blacephalon definitely existed. I called that he was going to bring a sub Blacephalon because you get subs on Mega Manectric. Because that thing is going to sucker punch you probably. Like Scarf was a rough bring for that reason.
You mean Mega Mawile?
Yes, I said Mega Manectric, Mega Mawile. Yes,
yeah,
Mega Mawile Mega Mawile sucker punches Blacephalon just about every time. I made some good plays around Blacephalon to dig myself out of the hole, I felt like. Like, I made sound plays, but it was a very unsound play that got me to that position in the first place. And so what ended up happening once I dealt with the Blacephalon is I had to try and play back from a 3-5 lead. At one point I was trying to play back from a 3-5. I beat the Blacephalon. It's a 3-4. What it comes down to in the end is I keep feeling like I can win this game if I can just get Scolipede in the right spot. And I've got it's Scolipede versus Mega Metacham. Those are the two. He has Mega Metacham and Toxapex left. I have Scolipede and low health Uxie left. Basically, I click Mega Horn in an effort to just do enough damage to this thing to KO, and I miss.
Oh, no.
And if I had hit and gotten the very not in my favor roll to KO him, I had ground DMZ for the Toxapex in the back. So if I KO, that's probably my game, barring like Scald Burns and like him stalling me out. It'd take more than a Scald Burn, I think, to really like stall out the Scolipede, because that ground DMZ is just going to do a lot.
Yep.
But the point is, the other thing that hit me after the game finished was that the Uxie that was sitting in the back had Rocky Helmet.
Yeah.
So if I had just switched it in on the Mega Metacham, let it take a hit, Mega Metacham would have 100% been in range of Mega Horn, and then I would have missed anyway, but like, whatever. Like, the situation there for me was that I realized afterwards that I had an out. And even more than that, I could have ground DMZ'd for 100% accurate, taking out Mega Metacham. Would have been a riskier play, and then I would have had to like Swords Dance on Hex. But the point is, I realized afterwards it was kind of like the Clutch situation where, looking back on the game, it was very winnable if I had played my outs better. But I felt good afterwards because I was just like, man, I learned something from that. Like, remember what Mon you have a Rocky Helmet on, because like even if you're sacking it, it's doing something in being sacked.
Yeah.
Like, typically. So.
All right. Well, that pretty much goes over all the actually that 100% goes over. Yeah, that is the Alola International coverage for this week, such as it is. Yeah. 2 weeks in a row of less than or like 50% or less participation. It's not a good sign.
Hopefully things pick back up.
Hopefully, we can hope. There's still a chance that it could, and I honestly hope it does, because it'd be sad to see this league go that way. Anyway, speaking of leagues, new league that we are going to be covering is I mentioned it earlier. It's the Top Flight Premier League, which is one of the more original names I've heard.
Thank you.
Well, at least it doesn't sound like it came out of like the random name generator for draft. Yeah, the Pokemon Draft League name generator that I'm sure exists somewhere. So we're going to be covering that league mainly because all 4 of us are in it. And I'm going to list the coaches and the teams here first. So these are we have 16 teams, and we filled those slots quick.
Those slots got filled within a day and a half.
Yeah. There was a lot of rapid response to this. So
which is good.
Yes. Yeah.
That's exactly what you want.
Yep, that's exactly what you want. And the teams that we've got, oh man, I'm excited. So
our subs are powerful too.
Yeah, we got good subs too. Like I noticed the subs popping in. Yeah. So anyway, so here we go. 16 teams. We have 4 divisions. We have the Kanto division with Adamant coaching the Akron Alakazams, Urflab coaching the Colorado Agrons, Nadia coaching the Georgia Tech Beedrills, Pack coaching the Indianapolis Ponytas, Johto division, Ethan coaching the Waynesboro Gallades, Neek coaching the Galesburg Gliscors, Fassiday coaching the Lancashire Luxrays, Sam coaching the Seattle Supersonics. In the Hoenn division, we have Clutch sometimes coaching the Kansas City Kingdras, Crazy Mangoes coaching the Anaheim Mighty Golducks, Sakura coaching the Diglets Down Under, the Natural 91, also known as Michael, coaching the Ohio Ninetails. And in the Alola division, we have Cossack 11 coaching the Can-Am Driftblims, Dominator coaching the San Antonio Septiles, Hive coaching the San Jose Sharpedos, and Heathcliff coaching the Philadelphia Flygons. This is a really good set of coaches. I'm excited for this league.
This is about to be super competitive.
It is.
I'm hyped. I'm so happy with how this is looking so far.
So there are a few new faces. Some people that there's a lot of people that listeners will probably be familiar with, mainly because a lot of them come from either Alola International or RDL or both. And the only two I can think of, the only people I can think of that probably aren't familiar to our listeners, Fassiday, they're from PCL, I believe. Yep. Pretty decent coach, if I remember correctly. I was only in the PCL for like a quarter of a season. So, and I didn't battle with them, so didn't see any of their battles. So, not as familiar with their play style. I wish Clutch was here because Clutch could tell us more about Fassiday.
I can tell you about Fassiday.
Oh yeah, go ahead. That's right. You played Fassiday, right?
Yeah, no, he plays well. I think that like, you know, there's aspects of his prep that are still coming up. Him playing in Wi-Fi will be interesting because like I'm not sure if I'm guessing he hasn't played in a Wi-Fi league
ever.
Certainly in Usum, right?
Yeah, he definitely hasn't in Usum.
He's working through they're working through the
game
right now.
Yeah, to get to the Mega Ring and such.
I appreciate that they're giving us updates on all of the progress,
which is a good sign. I like seeing that kind of communication.
Following the journey, but yes, I'd say that he'll it'll improve him a little bit to play in a Wi-Fi league. We'll see how it goes. And I think that also it'll like kind of force him to make decisions fairly quickly.
Yep.
When I played him, it's like it was pretty typical for like when he was trying to figure out what to do. I think maybe he does a lot of calcs, maybe he kind of contemplates things, but he typically takes certainly more than 100 seconds. So
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but like I think the result of that is certainly he's not a button clicker. He thinks things out.
Yeah, he thinks his moves through, which is important.
Yes, very.
So we'll see how he does with the mandatory 90-second timer in Wi-Fi. All right. The next one that listeners might not be as familiar with is Crazy Mangoes.
He's actually a friend of Hive's.
Okay.
So
I'm going to assume that they maybe know their stuff at least a little bit because Hive knows their stuff, and
maybe
I don't know because like I haven't ever really spoken to Hive, so
I've spoken to him just a little bit, but I think that anything we say about this guy's speculation. We don't know.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
We'll see how the team comes. We'll see how their team comes.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see. I actually like that we have a couple wild cards in here that we don't know as much about.
Absolutely. Always good.
Next person that y'all are probably not as familiar with is Sakura. Now, Sakura is my co-coach for our off-season league for the RDL, so I've spoken with her. She seems to know her stuff. She seems pretty familiar, not necessarily with Draft League in general, but does seem familiar with competitive mons and how that works. So, and I think she's been in a couple Draft Leagues before this, so I think she'll do well, and I think she's a good addition to the coaching roster. And I think Heathcliff is one of her friends, if I remember correctly.
Heathcliff actually, I found him on Reddit.
Oh, okay. Heathcliff you found on Reddit. So we
were just communicating back and forth.
Right, okay. Because I know that Sakura mentioned back when we were looking for a 16th coach that she had someone that might be interested. And I didn't know. I thought Heathcliff might have been that person. But okay. So Heathcliff came from Reddit, which, by the way, if you're ever looking to start a draft league, Reddit's a good place to look if you don't already have, a bunch of coaches to draw on. Like now we have, because we're involved in a lot of different leagues to some extent, like starting a draft league is pretty easy. I would almost say not easy, but
people who know people. Yeah,
getting the coaches together, at least that part of it is a lot easier
than it would be otherwise.
Yeah.
If you're starting dry or with just like one or two friends, that's rough.
But Reddit is a good place to go for that. There's a lot of different subreddits that you can go to. And I think later on, we still got to discuss coverage for the off season and, a few other things. But anyway, the draft is going to be happening this Friday. It's going to be a slow draft. And judging by the people involved, I don't think it's going to take that long.
Neither do I.
See.
I think it might take a week. I don't know if it'll take even a week though. We'll see though.
What's nice is everyone is active.
Yes.
I've been just kind of looking at who's been online when, and we have everyone's coming in and out. So we shouldn't have to wait too long between picks.
Yeah. So it should be.
And I feel like this is a group of people that's responsible enough that they will probably leave picks with people.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I know if it comes to that, I definitely will. Although I don't think it will because, I will say I will be busy on Saturday, but like it's not something I can't just check every once in a while to see if it's my pick and then make my pick on my phone. So.
Oh, before I forget, notable sub Santoro.
Right, we have some power in our reserve coaching bench.
And then
Andrew's playing for Sakura.
A friend of mine from university, Brendan, BMF, never been in a draft league, but he has laddered and hit like top 50, top 100 pretty continually. So
well, there you go.
So we've got around competitive mods.
So our bench has some serious power on it.
Yeah, that's spooky.
Yeah. All right. That's the TPL. I'm excited to cover this league. I really am. I think this will be a good league to cover.
Start this draft in 4 days.
Yeah, I am too. And things are flying a lot faster than we thought because we thought this league wasn't going to start until November.
We'll just start after exams. Oh, we'll start this Friday.
Yeah, we're starting now.
Yeah. I mean, it was a vote, and everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense. RDL's down. I think that Ethan didn't even play a match in AI this week, so
yeah.
it seems like his schedule is about to be free. Maybe
I put out that vote. When should we start? For 1, as soon as all coaching slots filled.
Yep.
2 for this Friday. 3 for next weekend. I got 1 for as soon as all coaching slots are filled, and 11 for next weekend. So people were immediately like, "Let's go."
So do we want to do? I'm gonna ask this question here, because then the viewers will know, or the listeners will know at least, that what do we want to? How do we want to do a draft overview of this slow draft after it's done? Do we want to do that, and do we want to do it? If we do it, do we want to do a separate?
We did it for RDL.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the thing is, but when we did it for RDL, that was a fast draft. Yeah. Yeah, it was a fast draft. But
we still talked about it afterwards.
We can talk about this one afterwards. I just want to know if we want to do that, and if we do, I do think we make it a separate podcast. So it'll probably be a bonus podcast that week, or depending on like what we're looking at for, like, depending on what's available to cover at that time, maybe that just is the podcast that week. We'll see. But I just wanted to kind of like real quick, because I knew it would be a quick discussion, just hash that out real quick here so that the listeners and viewers can be updated on that. So
we'll probably do a special or something.
Yeah. So that is all we've got for league coverage news, but we do still have our Mon of the Week, and our Mon of the Week this week is a Mega Gardevoir. So Sam, start off. I know that Adam has a lot to say about this Mon, so I'm going to start with Sam, because I know Sam will cover a bunch of stuff, and then Adam can fill us in on the rest that wasn't covered.
And also, I'm probably going to have to dodge here in a second. So
okay, so you can
hop out.
Say your 2 cents and bail.
Yep. Mega Guard. I think the thing that I like about it most is that it like kind of remedies this issue of that Gardevoir has of having kind of a little bit of a slow speed tier. Like megas that are in that 100 range are dangerous because they're good breakers. They're things that you have to think about your switch-ins to, because if something is too slow and it's 2-hit KO'd, it's not good enough.
Yep.
Right? Like slow breakers are great, but if you have something that can switch in and, you know, take 50 and recover and whatnot, like, you know, you can stall a slow breaker out. But something like Mega Gardevoir sitting at base 100, same as Mega Metacham, you have to find your switch-ins. You better have a good steel type, man. And so like, you got to find your fairy resists, you know. Then that's the other thing, is that, you know, typically our response to psychics is good dark type, right?
That doesn't work here.
Doesn't want to catch a hyper voice.
No. Like, Mandibuzz cannot wall this Mega.
No, not in any universe.
Nope.
But also the thing is with Mega Guard is that you typically know, I mean, it's going to be sitting in there. It's going to, you know, it's going to have hyper voice. It's going to hit hard. The difficulty sometimes is knowing what's going to come. You know, the subset is fantastic because it does force a lot of switches, and you have calm mindsets. It's something that if it's on the other team, you have to think about it. You have to prep for it.
Because if you don't, it curb stomps you.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have a switch in, if you don't have RK for it, you're in trouble. That's kind of, those are my thoughts. You know, last season when I played Nadia, I ran a Heatran set that had Iron Head just for this thing. Like, I ran a physical move on Heatran just so I could actually hit this thing for damage.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is that, the sneaky bit of it, don't try to break this thing on the special side.
No. Especially if it's the Combine set.
35 special defense.
Yep. Yeah. It's going to take a hit effortlessly. I mean, I had a fully invested Heatran. Flashcan did nothing, but like the teensiest little bit of investment in attack, and Iron Head was like in the range where it KO'd after rocks.
Yeah, this is, and that's, its speed tier combined with its awesome special stats makes it possibly one of the most dangerous Calm Mind users in the meta.
Yeah, if it gets one and your resists aren't good,
you might be in a bad spot. You are in deep if you don't have good enough resists and this thing gets a Calm Mind off. Just one.
Especially if your Scarfer is a special attacker.
Oh yeah, because
you're in real bad
shape. Yeah, you're in deep trouble.
It's also another note, like real quick, before I leave here, is that this is a small thing, but it also appreciates that it cannot be tricked. You know, it's just like with Megalodios. You know, like it likes that you can't pass it Specs or Scarf to lock it in, to force it to lock into something. Although, to be fair, giving Mega Gardevoir Specs would be a really, really regrettable choice.
Yeah.
If it were possible.
Yeah.
So that's all I gotta say. So
it's
have Adam have fun talking about your deer. It's a good mon.
Well then. All right. Yep.
Peace, guys.
See ya. All right, Adam. Tell me more. What did Sam maybe miss with this thing?
First off, we didn't say its special attack was base 165.
Yeah. So when we were talking about that's part, like I was saying, yeah, that's part of that's what makes it a dangerous Calm Mind user. You got
what's also slept on is this thing is super good utility.
Yeah, it does.
You can run sub disable and screw someone over. You can run encore and screw someone over. You think a Calm Mind Sylveon's gonna beat this? No, I'll encore you into Calm Mind and Psyshock you into next week.
Yeah.
Healing Wish / Memento. Party support.
Yeah. It's disgusting what it can do. And it's fast too, so it gets like
taunt. Fast taunt user.
And fast taunt users, I feel like people don't like give enough credit to fast taunt users, but you can shut so much down if you have a fast taunt user.
Thunderwave, Toxic, and Willow run the entire gambit. Wish, so that nice Calm Mind Wish. Jesus.
Yeah. Sub Calm Mind Wish. Like
ridiculous.
Bleh.
Icy Wind, get some nice speed support. If you gotta slow something down, there you go.
Yeah, it's brutal. You can do a lot with this thing. It's got quite the it's just, I mean, it's got a brutal
also gets stored power. Stored power coming off base 165 special attack.
Yeah, and like we said, just 1 or 2 Calm Minds and this thing is deadly.
Two Calm Minds. That stored power is sweeping.
Yeah.
You thought a dark type was gonna stop it? Hyper Voice.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good to fight this thing.
If you don't have it, its move pool pretty much lets it hit everything. Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Psychic, Psyshock, Moonblast. If you're scared, if you read that Throat Chop, on Hyper Voice. Energy Ball, Focus Blast.
Notably,
got everything you need more.
No, you did mention this earlier. Synchronoise. You can use that
to
blow back fairy types.
You thought a Sylveon was stopping this? No.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like that thing destroys Comfey with that Synchronoise. Like
I want to run that calc.
Yeah, it might have a. It might I want to run that calc with Florges. My brain farted for a second there. I couldn't think about the Mon's name.
Oh yeah, Synchronoise does minimum 50% to a Sylveon.
Yeah.
It actually does more than Hyper Voice.
Yeah.
And Hyper Voice hits like a truck.
Yeah. Hyper Voice also, because of Pixelate, that thing is a fairy type move on this Mon, and it is brutal because it gets around subs.
And if you want to meme out, run run Hyper Beam.
Like there's so many dragons. There's so many dragons that have sub X setup move sets, and they can't run those against Mega Gardevoir because Hyper Voice gets around that sub.
Yeah, so suddenly you're like, is someone really gonna bring sub against a potential Hyper Voice?
Nope.
Probably not.
I wouldn't, but
unless they have balls of steel.
Especially because it's a fairy type Hyper Voice. And thus stab from base 165 special attack. Yeah.
So you're not living.
No. No, you are not. It's... Ugh.
Plus, dude... That rest, sleep talk, calm mind, Hyper Voice.
Yeah.
Max HP, max defense. If they can't break you on the physical side, they got no shot of breaking you specially.
So I'm doing the calc for Synchronoise versus Florges.
Oh yeah, it does 45%, man.
Yeah.
So, like Stealth Rock, guaranteed to go.
And that's brutal. especially because Florges doesn't get
Florges has
Moonlight.
base 154 special defense.
Yeah, it's got ridiculous.
And if you want to invest in your special defense to eat the Synchronize and Hyper Voice, go to Psyshock you in the next week.
Yeah, because its base defense is only 68, which is not going to help you when you get nailed by a Psyshock.
Yeah, so if you don't invest in your defense, Psyshock does 60% minimum.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. That's what makes part of what makes Mega Gardevoir so dangerous. Like, not just with Synchronoise, but just in general. Mega Gardevoir's got a... Like, Fairy Psychic is an excellent offensive typing.
Alolan Muck, notorious Assault Vest user, swallows hits. Hyper Voice still does 35%.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's... and, like... So, and it, you know, because it's got that base 100 speed, a lot of times things that would normally like resist it, if you can wear down stuff like Alolan Muck, if you can wear down, you know, things like that would normally 1v1 it just because they can out DPS it. If they're already low, if they're a one shot, Mega Gardevoir comes in and outspeeds because, you know, base 100 speed, and you probably, like, especially if you're talking Assault Vest, Alolan Muck, it's not going to be very fast.
If you're not Assault Vest, that Hyper Voice is doing half.
Yeah, if you're not Assault Vest, then it's gonna get you. But what I'm pointing out though is that it can it's not gonna take any it's not gonna take any damage on a revenge kill.
Yeah.
Like, you can if you lower the health enough, you can just straight up revenge kill with Mega Gardevoir. Revenge kill things that it normally wouldn't or shouldn't try to revenge kill. But because it just hits so damn hard.
This thing just doesn't care.
And that's what Sam was talking about when he mentioned, like, base 100 megas. A lot of the base 100 megas are very dangerous because of that. Base 100 or higher, because a lot of them hit really hard and are base 100 or higher, which makes them quite fat. Like, it makes them really good at breaking, and it also makes it hard to switch in on them because...
Also, if your opponent overreads you and you're a Mega Gardevoir sitting against an Alolan Muck, you can Will-O-Wisp it.
Yeah.
And you live any one hit. Yeah.
Yep.
And if they overread and click like Pursuit or Knockoff, you're thriving.
Yeah.
You're thriving.
That being said...
notably, I forgot to mention, this thing gets Trick Room too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that being said, Mega Gardevoir does have to watch out for Bullet Punch users. It doesn't have a lot of physical... defense. It has very little physical defense and not a lot of HP, so
Scizor, Mega Scizor.
Yeah, Scizor, Mega Scizor, both issues. Problem. Yep. Like, basically offensive steel types are going to be like physical attacker steel types are going to be an issue for this thing. Like another example, like I would even say neutral priority hits depending on the mon are going to be a problem for this thing on the physical side. Like, you're talking extreme speed. A lot of extreme speed users are going to hit this thing reasonably hard. And it's going to be, your speed tier doesn't matter against priority. So.
Agreed. Yeah, like Lucario extreme speed does 50 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
Hyper Voice is 100% minimum to a steel type.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Yep. But, like, that does mean that, like, if Lucario has a sword stance up, your Mega Gardevoir isn't gonna be able to, like, if your Mega Gardevoir isn't at full health, you're probably done.
I just said Lucario extreme speed. This thing gets Bullet Punch, just 80%.
Yeah, exactly. So like, keep that in mind if you're looking for things on your team to counter. Good neutral priority or Bullet Punch, if you have it, is gonna really help you out against it. I think honestly one of the best counters to Mega Gardevoir though is Heatran.
Oh, for sure.
Because like Sam was talking about running Iron Head on Heatran for this thing, because like we just said, it's not very physically bulky, so you don't need much investment from a super effective move to take it out.
Are you gonna run Choppleberry or Shookaberry on the Heatran? Or Choice Scarf?
That's always
You want to take Focus Blast, HP Ground, or Outspeed.
Yeah, that's something to
And
consider.
if you guess
too.
wrong,
you
got a problem.
Yeah. So keep that, like, those are things to keep in mind with when going up against and using Mega Gardevoir. Physical steel types are going to be something that you might want to consider taking out with other mons, just to preserve the sweeping capability and wall breaking capability that Mega Gardevoir brings to the table. Because, I mean, Mega Gardevoir deals with pretty much everything else. I mean, because, like, poison doesn't have good priority, and there are some fast poison types out there, like Nihilego, but that's special, so, like,
so that ain't doing jack shit.
Yeah, good luck, especially if the Gardevoir's got Calm Minds up. The problem with using poison types against Mega Gardevoir is it's psychic. It's got and it just destroys you instantaneously. Like, it just vaporizes you. So it's a problem. You know what I just realized? I mean, Hyper Voice already pretty much does in Mega Altaria, but, like, Synchronoise also does a ton of Mega Altaria because it shares a typing.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so that's some secret tech, maybe, if you think you need it. I don't think you really do. Also, Synchronoise does a reasonable amount to the Mega Lotties.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just Hyper Voice?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you could do that, or you could just click Hyper Voice, which is probably the better option. But it is interesting to know that you have that option available to you.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting threat to deal with. It's one of the honestly though, I think Mega Gardevoir is one of those mons that benefits from Draft League being the way it is. Right? It's one of those megas that got more powerful because of the format of Draft League. Like, it's powerful in Draft League because of the way Draft League is structured.
Even with Pixelate nerf, this thing is still solid.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not like. But what I'm getting at is it's not as strong. It's one of those mons that heavily
not
benefits.
As strong on ladder as it is in
draft.
Unless you're in VGC and you're using it as your trick room set, then that thing's annoying yourself.
Yeah, that's true too. But anyway, I think that pretty much covers Mega Gardevoir. You know what? If you're looking for a really good fairy for your team and you haven't drafted your Mega yet, if you're listening and you're slow drafting right now, Mega Gardevoir, if it's still on the table.
Or Mega Altaria or Mega Diancie.
Yeah, but, like,
But Mega Gardevoir's better.
Mega Gardevoir is really good. I honestly would rather have Mega Gardevoir than Mega Diancie.
I was gonna say, don't you send Mega Altaria?
No, I like Mega Altaria. I have a dirty stall team with Mega Altaria on it.
I think it can't be Starly with Rue Steel Bell.
Well, because it was like I ran a double defog set with Moltres and Mega Altaria. Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna cover it for this week's MagneZONE. We went pretty long. We went longer than usual somehow, with less to cover. We did an excellent job waffling, Adam.
Playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. Playoffs is the reason. So, look forward to more long talks, because we're definitely going to have a lot to say about the matches that will have happened this week, and we'll also have a lot to say about the semifinals matches. So, until next week, we'll see ya. Peace.